A single American Patriot missile cost $2 to $3 million. The drone it just shot down cost $35,000. That is not a typo. Iran is flooding conflict zones with cheap, mass-produced drones, and the West is burning through its most expensive ammunition trying to stop them. The math is absolutely brutal, and here's the part nobody is talking about. This might not be a military strategy. This might be a financial one. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you are going to see this entire conflict very differently. Let us start with the basics. Iran's Shahed 136 drone is essentially a flying lawnmower engine strapped to explosives. It is slow, it is loud, it is not sophisticated by any serious military standard, but it costs somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000 per unit to produce. Some estimates put it even lower. Now compare that to what the West fires back. A Patriot interceptor missile, $2 to $3 million. A British Sky Sabre missile, around $1 million. Even the cheaper options, like the American Stinger system, runs into the hundreds of thousands when you factor in the full operational cost. The ratio is staggering. In some engagements, Western forces are spending $40 to $50 in defense for every single dollar Iran spends on offense. That is not a war of bullets and bombs. That is a war of accountants. Here is where the financial strategy gets really clever. Iran does not need its drones to win every battle. They just need to keep flying. Every time a Shahed gets knocked out of the sky, a NATO stockpile shrinks a little more. Every intercept drains a defense budget that takes years, sometimes decades, to refill. Ukraine has reported intercepting hundreds of Shahed drones in single overnight attacks. Hundreds in one night. Each intercept costs Ukraine and its Western backers millions. Iran can manufacture replacements in days. The West cannot replace Patriot batteries in days, not even close. The production timelines tell the whole story. Raytheon, the American company that makes the Patriot system, has publicly stated they are struggling to ramp up production fast enough to meet global demand. Waiting lists for key components stretch years out. Meanwhile, Iranian drone factories are reportedly running around the clock, churning out Shaheds and newer variants at industrial scale. Now let us follow the real money. Western governments are being forced to make an uncomfortable choice. Do you spend billions restocking missiles that are being consumed faster than they can be made? Or do you let your air defenses thin out and accept more risk? The United States alone has authorized over $70 billion in security assistance to Ukraine. A significant chunk of that is air defense. Germany, France, the UK, they are all writing similar checks. And that money flows directly to defense contractors. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems. Their order books are full. Their stock prices have done very well since 2022. But here is the darker side of that equation. Defense budgets are not infinite. Every Patriot missile sent to Ukraine is one fewer missile in a NATO country's own stockpile. Poland, the Baltics, Germany are all watching their own reserves shrink, and filling those reserves back up costs tens of billions more. Iran figured out something that military strategists call cost-exchange ratio warfare. You do not have to defeat the enemy's military. You just have to make defending against you too expensive to sustain. And it is working. In 2023, European defense officials privately admitted that at the current rate of expenditure, certain air defense stockpiles could hit critically low levels within months of any major escalation. That is not a military failure. That is a budget crisis wearing a military uniform. The Houthis in Yemen, armed with Iranian drones and missiles, disrupted global shipping through the Red Sea so severely that insurance premiums on commercial vessels spiked by over 200% almost overnight. Shipping companies rerouted around the Cape of Good Hope, adding weeks and millions in fuel costs to every journey. One conflict zone, $35,000 drones, and suddenly global trade is bleeding. That is leverage. Enormous, asymmetric, financially devastating leverage. So what is the endgame here? Iran does not need to build a military that can match the United States. It needs to build one that makes engaging with it economically unbearable. Every drone launched is a bill sent to Washington, London, or Berlin. And right now, those bills are piling up fast. Western defense industries are scrambling to develop cheaper countermeasures. Laser systems, electronic jamming, AI-guided point defense. But most of those solutions are still years away from mass deployment. Right now, the most advanced militaries on Earth are shooting million-dollar missiles at $35,000 targets, and the ledger is not looking good. The real question is not whether Western air defenses can shoot down Iranian drones. They can. The question is whether they can keep affording to. So here's what I want you to think about, and I want you to be honest in the comments. Is Iran running the smartest, low-cost military strategy in modern history? Or is the West's industrial might and innovation eventually going to make this drone threat completely obsolete? Drop your answer below. This is exactly the kind of debate that needs to happen.